The opinions expressed on the Custody Queen show are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for personal, professional legal advice. The persons discussed are fictional and not based on actual clients.
Thought it was love, had kids in between. You can count on us, we're the Custody Queens. Yeah, you can count on us, we're the Custody Queens.
Good morning, everyone with Go Country. So happy to be here with our Go Country family. It's a great Saturday, and we have an amazing guest for everyone today. We have Tiana Gandelman, and Tiana is known for being the creative director for many seasons of The Masked Singer and Dick Van Dyke's 98 Years of Magic. She's also been a producer for shows like America's Got Talent, the Grammys, and recently the BET Awards. So welcome, Tiana. I am super excited. I've caught a couple episodes of The Masked Singer, and you know, it's I think I gotta watch a few more to like really get into it.
And that's
we are
okay.
so happy.
It intrigues me. It's one of those shows that I'm like, each time I watch it, I get a little bit more into it. But it's very creative, and I think it brings a new sense of entertainment for all of us.
Well, Tiana is a very interesting woman, and we are so excited to dive in and pick your brain for the next 30 minutes. But before we do that, I want to play a little game called we always play CQ Talk Box, where we ask a question that's like an icebreaker. So the question of the day is, if you could pick one movie to watch for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? And if you need a moment, Tiana, I will make Kristen go first. So you let me go.
I was just thinking I need a moment. We'll make Sam go first.
No,
I heard you go first.
sorry.
No, please go ahead.
This one is an easy one for me, to be honest. And thank you, first of all, for having me. It's lovely to see you, meet you, and talk with you. My go-to movie, and I will stand by this forever, is Annie. Because it was one of those movies that I realized how passionate I was about performing, and just the storytelling always got me super involved in just the life of Annie. And I just felt like, oh, she's curly haired like me, and you want to find things that you relate to as a young kid, and I know all the words and all the songs and all the dances, so I could watch it forever.
I love that.
What's
All
yours?
right, Kristen.
Okay, might be an odd one, but I can watch movies on repeat. It's great. My husband thinks I'm crazy because he watches one movie and then he's like, "You've watched it. Why would you ever watch it again?" But I watch movies a lot. So Cool Runnings is one of my favorite movies, and I love it because, one, I'm fascinated by athletes and the Olympics and the discipline and the heart and the passion that it truly takes to get to the Olympics. But I love seeing the underdog win. I love it. And even if they don't win and get the gold medal, to win with something that you put your heart and your soul into, and then the community gets behind you and you do something that nobody ever told you was doable. That, I feel like if I could live the rest of my life being the underdog and always looking for something to keep going, I think that's really important with life. I don't ever want to get completely content, because then I think you stop living.
For sure.
That's a great answer, Kristen. Okay, so mine's maybe a little less deep. I would say Guardians of the Galaxy. Just because that movie makes me happy. The soundtrack's awesome. It's upbeat, and it just puts me in a good mood. So if I was to have one movie, that would kind of get my music in it too. So that would be my answer.
It was either that or Girls Just Want to Have Fun for me. It was a toss-up.
Yeah.
I thought, Sam, I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say The Crocodile Hunter, or if Bounty the Dog Hunter made a movie, that would be your jam.
I mean, I do love some Dog the Bounty Hunter, always. She's teasing me because my celebrity crush is Leland Chapman from Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Sam also watches shows about meerkats, and
It's been a while now, but yeah, Meerkat Manor, that was a good one. That was a classic.
she literally would watch 8 episodes in a day, and I couldn't even get through one. I was like, what are you watching?
If you watch Meerkat Manor, though, it's one of the most original reality shows. They cover the whole Meerkat Manor family, okay? It
I
gets
will
emotional.
take-
You, like, follow them around.
I will take your word for it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Well, Tiana, what's your favorite show? Not a movie, but like, what is one of your favorite shows?
Oh my gosh, now that's hard because I am an absolute TV junkie of all types of reality. I'm not gonna lie.
Same.
I'm really guilty and I will just shuffle through them. I currently I'm watching Love Island. But then I'm also waiting for The Challenge and Big Brother. I love Survivor. I just am I cry and I laugh and it just like pulls at all my emotions and it's wacky and I don't know. I'm just that's my bag. I'm a reality TV junkie.
Okay, well, I am too, like on every level. Maybe not Mirror Manor Cats or whatever Sam's watching.
I'll give it a shot.
But I started, and I think it was on, I don't know, I got it on Prime, but I think it was Discovery Plus or something. It's called like Poly Family. So it was about a husband and wife that I think had one or two kids, and then they brought in another husband and wife, and then like had another one or two kids, and then they all live on like a couple acres and they live as like one unit. And so it's like a docu-series, and the kids call two moms, two dads, but there is a primary mom and a primary dad, but then the other two couples, like the other husband and wife, are in a relationship as well, but the two husbands are not in a relationship, but the two women like have tried it out and tested it out. So, and aside from all of that, I just think I can barely handle like the emotions of like myself and my husband. I can't imagine trying to balance the emotions of four adult people with jealousy or insecurity or content or tired. Like, it's crazy to me, but it is very, very, very addicting. Like, very addicting. But anyways, that's my current reality junkie show I'm into.
And you know what? That is great, and I can imagine that those people they want spice in their life. They get bored easily. They need like, and good for them. You go good.
Right.
Not for me.
But they deal with a lot of real issues, and I'm wondering if it's going to hit a boiling point at some point, because two people are spending more time together or connecting emotionally than the other couple, and then it's starting to wear and tear on the two women that are best friends. I mean, at some point, one of them has a newborn, and the other mom was like, "Do you need help nursing? Maybe I can go talk to a lactation specialist and see if there's something I can help with." And I'm like, this is crazy. But hey, to each is their own. I don't judge anyone's lifestyle. I'm not in their shoes. And doing family law, Sam and I are definitely not one to judge anyone, and it's your life, and I hope everyone lives it the way they want to live it. But it is good TV.
That's great.
All right, Sam, take it away.
All right, Tiana. So just to kind of get into a little bit of your backstory and things like that, is there a moment that you realized that entertainment was for you and this is kind of the path you wanted to take?
Oh yeah, I knew at a very young age that it was going to be dance based. My mom was teaching aerobics as a kid, so I'd always be in the back of the studio learning the steps. And I remember, I'm from Iowa. I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So concerts that came through really left an imprint, because when it happened, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to be there. And I'll never forget MC Hammer came. And at that point, he was, the gold pants were on, Too Legit to Quit. All of it was happening. And he said, oh, bring up some kids. I want to see some kids on the stage. And I just raised my hand and I said, count me in. I was this big, but my godmother was super tall, put me on her shoulders, charged forward, and somehow I ended up on the stage. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on tour. I wasn't.
That's amazing.
You were meant to do it.
I was meant to do it. And I think after that, I just really stuck to it. And then my mom took me to New York. I was 9. I looked at her, I said, I'm moving here. So I just knew that my dreams were going to be beyond where I was currently living, but that didn't stop me from pursuing every aspect of it from Iowa.
That's awesome. And you have a background being a professional dancer?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I toured as a professional dancer for 10 years. My first music video that I was in was Britney's "I'm a Slave for You," and then Christina's "Dirty"
One of
shortly.
my faves.
Yeah, I know. They're right. They look
We're always rooting for Britney over here. I
Yeah.
mean, she was like, I mean, I graduated high school in 1999, and
Same.
baby hit me one more time. I mean, that was. So Custody Queens are huge fans of Free. We were of Free Britney, and no matter where she goes in life, I'm always going to be a huge fan. Like she did a lot of things. She really paved the way for, I think, for other people to do stuff like that.
Well, she gave also the dance community a place of a new way to be expressive. And I remember when being on Slave for You, there were so many different walks of life. Like it was just so culturally diverse for me to even see, and I was like, this is really an incredible place for people to just be free and be who they are. And she accepted us in that moment. And so I went on tour with her for the circus tour, and then for Christina I was on the strips tour and the back to basics tour. So I worked with them for on and off together for over 10 years, and with other with pop stars too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you watched Kristen and I dance and saw how awkward it was,
Yeah.
I love watching dancing. I realize I love to watch dance, but I can't make my body move that way.
Yeah.
All right.
No. I think my mom put me and my sister in quite a few dances. I think we started with tap and lyrical and jazz. And I think I did it for a couple of years, but my mom knew that, my ceiling was pretty low in dance. I was a much better, athlete. I don't want to say athlete because dancers are athlete, but a sport like soccer or, something with contact. I think they realized very early on that was not a good investment. My sister, on the hand, was much better, and I think she had a little bit more longevity in the career. But I watched my 10-year-old, and I think she took ballet when she was 4, and but she just watching TikTok. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like, where are you getting those dance moves?
Yeah.
Why does my 5-year-old know how to twerk? And it's not just like a little, funky twerk. I mean, he can twerk, and then he looks back at me, and I'm like, OMG.
You're in trouble.
I'm like, I see him being the fraternity president, in maybe a white t-shirt contest that I have to get in control of now. But, I think you have that artistic talent in you, or you don't, and I just didn't. I can't even draw a stick figure. Sam can draw way better than me.
I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. I mean, I can bubble art, but yeah, no, I'm not. I'd like to think I'm crafty, but I'm really not. But back to Tiana. So after dancing in these incredible tours, at some point you decided that you wanted to maybe switch gears and do some of the behind the scenes stuff with entertainment. Can you kind of describe that process for us?
Yeah, there's a moment, dancing is, and any athlete, right? There's a moment where your body says, hey, it's not so easy.
You're not 20 anymore.
We're not 20 anymore. And even the culture of dance too, it's young. It's, it's a very young, vibrant mentality. And so at the end of it, I remember being on tour, and I was the eldest of the tour. And I thought, maybe this isn't maybe there's something else. Like, maybe I should start exploring other things. And I found myself, when we were on set or we were doing a concert, I was very curious about the people behind the camera. I was like, well, who are they? What do they do? How do they do what they need to get this captured? And so I think by just putting myself out there, not only in my mindset, but also to my agent, and say, hey, if there's somebody looking for an assistant, or, I just remember kind of like putting the energy out there, not knowing where that would lead. And I knew too very early that I wasn't a choreographer. It didn't speak to me. And I knew people, they loved it, they breathed it. And I thought I would never want to take away from somebody else's magic when I can be magical someplace else.
Yeah.
Right? So I got booked, of course, as an on-camera choreographer, but in that moment I found myself in a lot of producer conversations. And when I was in those moments, I realized that made me very excited about life. So then when I had an interview shortly after that, to assist Brian Friedman on America's Got Talent, and I was fresh off the show, and I said, I'm who you're looking for because I understand production, I understand administration, I know these ins and outs. Mind you, Brian was also the person who cast me for the Britney video.
Oh, wow.
That was like a full circle. Like, he's taken 2 huge gambles on me in pivotal moments in his life, and I will always be grateful for that. And so that was just like the spark, and then I never really went back.
Well, and you probably also, just having had that background as a professional dancer, you're kind of used to the angles, what looks good, and all that stuff. That's probably, I mean, I know when Kristen and I first started the podcast, we were like, we thought we were going to know what we're doing. The second there's a camera looking at us, we're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
We're like,
I think we
talk in court. This is fine. We could do this on camera. And then we're like, oh.
I'll never forget the first time we filmed. We had to do 5 shows, and I think we were there for 12 hours. And Sam and I just thought we were going to show up, have casual conversation, and it would be super easy. And no, it's funny. I brought my daughter to the set a few times, and she's like, "Mom, that's a lot of work." And it is, and it's fun work, and we love what we do, but for anyone that thinks that, oh, I'm just going to go, stand behind a camera or a microphone and all of this magic just comes together, that's not how this goes down.
Not at all.
I went to a Dancing with the Stars finale
Okay.
that a couple of our producers were able to get me and my daughter tickets to, and what they did behind the scenes within like 3 or 4 minutes to change sets, change lights, like, honestly, that was one of the most impressive things of the entire night to me. I mean, they would bring out entire sets, put them together, get fireworks going, take down, and not just like taking out a chair. I mean, it was incredible.
It is magical. It really is. And when you get a second to really take it in and observe it, you appreciate the full scale of it that much more. And you're right, like, you guys getting in front of camera and getting comfortable is also like just a skill in itself. It takes time, and then knowing the producing and like all of it comes into play. So if it speaks to you and you just keep showing up, then it's just going to keep coming.
I love that. So,
what do they say? If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Now, I don't know I would go that far, because I do think I do love what Sam and I do, but I still feel days that I work. Yeah. But I do think that if you're doing what speaks to you, I like the way you say that, and what you have a passion for, I think you will work a lot less.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I have a question. I know you're working and work on The Masked Singer. Do you have any cool behind the scenes stories or any fun things that you could share for those of us who don't really get to see the behind the scenes part?
Sure. First, I used to work on the show, so okay. I'm not there anymore, but I was there for quite some time, and really the best moments were the first moments, just trying to figure out, what is this show? Why am I creating for a costume? Like, when you're working with them, you don't call them by their real name, you call them by their costume. And so you really try to just create for the character. And it's not like I have funny stories, they're just discovery. It's the process of, it's a new show and you're just trying to figure out, how is this going to work? And those moments stay with me because we started something that has a lot of life and a lot of longevity. Yeah. And what I did on the show with my team, an all-female diverse team, I will add, which I'm really proud of, is that we created some fun, wacky performances on that show and had a really good time doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think some of Sam and I's favorite moments are like the behind the scenes B-roll. It's like you remember someone come on and you're like, oh my gosh, remember when I spilled that drink? Or I do a lot. I make Sam feel very uncomfortable a lot. But it's like that. I agree. Like, that's part of the journey and that's part of the fun. And I think that's part of the best part is like the memories.
It's the memories that happen like off camera, or off the stage. Don't get me wrong, it's all a spectacle, but you do cherish those moments, especially when you're looking at hindsight. that was the stuff that stays with you.
So because we do a lot of like divorce and we do a lot of family law cases, but part of what Sam and I really try to preach is like the education component, the education aspect. Like, do you have to get divorced? Divorce isn't a bad thing. It's not taboo. Like, it's the next phase in your life. But we do get a lot of people that maybe they've been a stay-at-home dad or a stay-at-home mom, and they are looking for new jobs or new careers or outlets. If somebody wanted to get into, say, like an entry-level job in the entertainment industry, like, how would you recommend, what process do you think that they should take to even get their feet wet? Is that something that they take entry-level jobs?
That's a great question. I think when it comes to television, like if we're just talking, we all watch reality TV and we're trying to figure out that world, their entry level is a PA, a production assistant. And a production assistant does start doing the things that you might call grunt work, but it's not. It's serving. It's making sure that a PA, if they don't do their service and support the team, then there might not be water for people that day. There might not be, food pickups or offices that are set up for conference meetings and stuff like that. Like, it might seem like really small things, but they matter, and they matter to a bigger production. And so if it's an entry level, I would encourage it. Being a PA is just getting in the room. Like, getting in the room, you start seeing and paying attention to nuances of different roles and different duties. And when you see it and you say to yourself, oh, I could apply myself in that way, you just start having a gravitational pull towards that department. And then and when you're there, there's so much to explore. You have your production team, like the people that are, making sure it's all paid for, staying on time, staying on track. Then you also have a plethora of creative departments, whether it is the creative team, how do I support their vision, or it's the art department, or it's the screens, or lighting, or music. There's so many things to have in front of you when you come in as a production assistant, that you really can start finding your feet just by natural progression and being open and being, available.
No, I love all that, because a lot of times people come to Sam and I, and it's like, we might have a spouse that hasn't worked for 20 years, and they need to become gainfully employed at some point just for their own sense, or maybe their kids are, raised and out of the house, or they just need some independence. And I always try to tell, like, male, female, whatever, gender, like, get in at a bottom level. I mean, I started literally cleaning I worked for my dad. I was cleaning the bathrooms, and I was literally typewriting and like putting the address on envelopes. And I think I went through way more envelopes than necessary because I couldn't use the typewriter. But it's all a step to the bigger picture, and people don't realize, they just see the final product. And I always try to remind everybody every time I talk to them, this family law case is a journey. Same with your career, sports. Like, you don't start where you want to be. It's a journey, and there's so much the work that goes into it, mentally, physically, financially, and that applies to everything. So we try to tell our clients that this is the next phase. Don't be scared. Get out there, find your passion. You're going to know soon enough if it's something you like or you don't. But don't be afraid to make risks and find what makes you you.
For sure. And there is something also to be said, in one hand, you could apply for a job, or you can create something for your own, whether that's your own business, there's so many things that you can learn or teach. If you know 10% more than somebody else, you can create a course. You can create a place for people to learn from you as well. Even if you feel like you're out of it and you're like, no one's going to listen to me. Everyone wants to listen. Everyone wants to tune in. So building something on your own too is another great moment and chance for you to also take ownership of your life.
That's really
you got my wheels spinning here.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Sam is a master producer behind the scenes. She's the one that keeps us on track with our tasks and training, and I'm really good at coming up with ideas, but Sam is the executor for sure. Like, she's the one. She's the glue.
That's great. Everyone has their strengths, and when you can put those strengths together, look what you guys get to create. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
no, it really is.
And in today's world, there's so many opportunities to have so many different types of income streams or jobs that weren't available 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
You know, it's pretty phenomenal that you don't necessarily need to go to college to be able to do something with your life. I think that the times are changing significantly and a lot more doors are opening. But Tina, it was so fun having you on. I absolutely loved sharing, Sam and I loved sharing this time with you.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
And Tiana, I think that you sharing your story is so inspirational, and you've accomplished so much, and thank you so much for being on the show. But before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you if you could share with our listeners, if you could give yourself or any youngsters out there one piece of advice if they're maybe trying to navigate through what they want to do with their life, what would that be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think if I were to give any advice at this point, I've used this term quite often because I speak in production, but I say green light your own life. Give yourself permission to grow, give yourself permission to take a chance, and give yourself permission to take action. And I think there's a space for that in all of us, and there's no reason to hold back just because of fears of what other people might think or fear of people not understanding it. I don't believe that at all. I think there's space for us all to just go for it and bask in our greatness.
Thank you for that. That was such a wonderful.
I love it.
Thank you.
And I think that applies to what we do too. Give yourself the green light, because if you're stuck in a place that makes you unhappy, life is way too short. So
Yep.
give yourself the grace and the courage to move on. So for anyone out there that has listened to us this Saturday or every Saturday, thank you for sharing your Saturday with us. And if you have a family law issue or you know someone that needs a little help, please make sure you give them our number at 1-800-419-7772. That is 1-800-419-7772. You can also follow Sam and myself and Custody Queens on Instagram for updates and helpful hints and helpful information. You can also follow Tiana at
Tiana Today.
Oh, that's very sweet.
all of our guests have such greatly unique usernames.
Mine's just my full name.
I was just going to say Sam is Samantha McBride.
Yeah.